Hi, Artemis Paints here. In this video, I'll discuss how the odds on the draw are likely to change when there's a favourite versus an underdog. So, I'm not talking odds on favourites in this video, just a slight favourite. I'll deal with odds on favourites in another video. So, I'll use a match between Liverpool and Arsenal, and the odds are as follows. Liverpool 2.2, the draw 3.5, and Arsenal 3.6. So, you should note that in this example, the favourite is not odds on, and the draw and Arsenal have very similar odds. If a goal is scored, the odds of the team that scored the goal will reduce and the odds of the other team will increase. However, we want to decide whether it's worth laying the draw pre-match. Therefore, we're interested in whether the odds of the draw increase above pre-match odds. If you want to lay the draw and there's a clear favourite, you should look at the form of the teams. The main thing you want to see is that the favourite's on form, and it also helps if the non-favourite is off form. So basically you should look at the past few matches, and the ideal situation is where the favourite has won all of the games in which the team was expected to win, the non-favourite has lost or drawn matches that the team was expected to win. So this is important if you're considering laying the draw from the start of the match. The reason for this is because you'll make money when the favourite scores the first goal. However, you're likely to break even or even possibly lose a small amount of money when the underdog scores the first goal. So you also need an understanding of how the odds on the draw are likely to change. When there is a clear favourite and the draw's the outsider, the odds change slightly differently relative to matches in which both teams are equally fancied to win. I'll deal with the following two situations: when a goal is not scored and when a goal is scored. So this video is not meant as a system that readers can follow. It's simply meant to generate ideas. So, no goals scored. In the absence of a goal, the odds of the draw will decrease, and depending on the level of action in the game, the time at which the odds on the draw starts to decrease will vary. So read my post on laying the draw if you want to predict how to predict the amount of action that a match is likely to have. So an action-packed start. If the beginning of the game has a load of goal-scoring opportunities and there's lots of end-to-end action, the odds on the draw will remain stable for up to 15 minutes. Once the odds on the draw start to reduce, they'll continue downwards until one team scores a goal. So when the game has a slow start, if the beginning of the match is lacking in goal-scoring opportunities, the odds on the draw will reduce early, often from the very start of the match. And if the match was predicted to be a low-scoring affair in the first place, the odds on the draw will definitely reduce from the start of the game. So, the first half goal. If the favourite scores the first goal, the odds of the draw will rise to a level that is above the odds at kick-off. However, if the non-favourite scores the first goal, the odds will increase from their current odds. However, the magnitude of the increase depends on when the goal is scored. If the goal is scored in the first half, the odds of the draw may rise to around pre-match levels. However, they might not even reach pre-match levels. If the favourite is an attacking team with a strong striker and the underdog goes up by a goal, the odds of the draw probably won't increase to pre-match levels until quite late in the game. I mean, I've seen it, the odds not increase to above pre-match levels in this situation until around the 75th minute of the game. However, that's a worst case scenario. If the favourite scores the first goal of the match in the second half, the odds on the draw will still increase above pre-match levels. And if the non-favourite scores early in the half, the odds early in the second half, the odds on the draw may increase above pre-match levels, but it's not guaranteed. The later in the second half that the non-favourite scores, the higher the rise in the odds of the draw, obviously. And when the non-favourite scores first, you can only completely rely on an increase above pre-match draw odds after the 75th minute. So this is a summary table of how the odds of the draw change in a match where there's a favourite that isn't odds on versus an underdog. The changes also depend on other various factors such as the pre-match odds. The changes depend on how much difference there was between the pre-match odds of the favourite and the underdog. So let's say the difference in the pre-match odds between the favourite and the underdog were closer in this example. In this case, a goal would result in smaller increases for the draw odds when the favourite scores the first goal, and conversely, a goal would result in larger increases for the draw odds when the underdog scores first. And the level of in-play action is another factor that will influence the changes in the odds of the draw. Who appears to be dominating the game. If the underdog scores first and appears to have more control in the game than expected, you might see larger increases in the odds of the draw. So, if you're looking to lay the draw and then bet on the draw immediately after the first goal is scored, you should be focused on the favourite. You can't rely on making money if the first goal is scored by the non-favourite, and that's why you should look at the recent form of both teams. The main way you'll make money is when the favourite scores first. Therefore, the favourite's form is of particular importance. And there are a lot of factors to think about. However, for me, the cons will usually outweigh the pros, and I would choose to lay the draw at half-time if the score is still 0-0. And only in very special cases would I choose to lay pre-match with these kinds of odds. So that's all for this video. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos on Lay the Draw.